I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. During last week's Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, Senator Marsha Blackburn expressed her condolences to the Highland Park massacre shooting victims. Blackburn asked witnesses how Congress can get to the crux of the issue by focusing on mental health. She also pressed witnesses about the possession of firearms for self-defense. Listen in for her full line of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to each of you for being here today. And Mayor, certainly we extend our condolences and our sympathies to you all in Highland Park, as we do with all of the victims that have faced this type of violence. And I think it's fair to say that we all share the goal of safe communities and making certain that our children are safe in school, making certain that we can celebrate when we have a July 4th parade or a community event. And as we work on this issue, and you look at cities like Chicago and Philadelphia with very strict gun laws, and then you say, how do we get to the crux of this issue and make certain that people are safe? And Mr. Bentley, I want to come to you. I appreciate some of the work that you've done on the issue of mental health. And as we look at this pattern among some of the last several mass shootings, we see that shooters have previously expressed desires to commit violence, like the criminal there in Highland Park, and the police even having responded to a clear and present danger call on that shooter after he had made death threats. So, Mr. Bentley, talk a little bit about how we can enhance mental health programs and awareness so that potential shooters are stopped before they commit some of these crimes of violence.
Thank you for that question. And that's the crux of what the additional resources to help do the research and to provide mental health, particularly as it relates to school safety. A lot of our children are coming out of situations involving trauma, and they need that support so that they can function, providing that help in communities.
Okay, can I get you to link that to your work with behavioral threat assessments and those early warning signs?
Yes, ma'am. That's part of the situation that the center pointed out in their research, that in order to make the behavioral threat assessment process work effectively, it has to be coupled with providing a climate and also providing the situation where those individuals that work in the schools understand what we're looking for and who to report that information to in a timely manner, and also provide those individuals that are crying out with that help that they need. And very often those individuals are not receiving that help, particularly mental health.
So what you need is a greater jurisdiction or latitude at the state and local level so that communities can respond to need. Am I perceiving that right?
The work that we're doing with K-12 schools involve preparing these schools, those individuals in the schools, with the tools necessary.
Okay. Thank you for that. Mr. Smith, I want to come to you, if I may. There was just a mention about not being sure how many defensive gun uses there were every year. The CDC estimates that there are between 60,000 and 2.5 million defensive gun uses every year. And they also estimate that there are 39,700 gun-related deaths every year in the U.S. And you have talked a little bit about the importance of a firearm, possession of a firearm for self-defense. And I just wanted to give you the opportunity to elaborate on that while I have a few seconds left.
Yes, thank you for the question. I think it's critically important, particularly for my community, to have access to protect themselves at a very basic human level. For years and years, as probably everyone knows in this room, we have not had access to firearms like other communities outside of the Black community. So my organization goes out and literally educates our folks on what a gun is, what a gun isn't, how to purchase a gun, how to hold a gun, how to get trained in going to the range, all the intimate things that you need to know as a firearm and gun owner. We go over those things with our community. That's why our organization has such a strong following, and our folks are very, very trained when they go to the range. You just don't jump into our organization, grab a gun, and run to the range. That doesn't happen that way. All of our sessions are certified, and all of our folks know how to handle the gun at a very intimate level. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why we're doing so well.
Well, thank you all so much. I think we all can agree that we want to keep our community safe, and I thank you all so much for your testimony. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.